Good evening. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley Broom. We have a full quorum present with council members McKenzie, Karn, Arnold, and Gay. And so at this time, at 7:30 p.m., I will call the meeting to order, subject to my continuing objections to Ordinance 2024-01 and the omnibus motion this body passed earlier this year. So we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chaplain Dent will be handling our invocation this evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Evening.
City of College Park, let us pray. Almighty God, creator of all humankind, I thank you on behalf of all gathered here this evening for the opportunity to meet again. God, thank you for your abundant blessings. Thank you for the freedom to embrace one another in agape love regardless of our differences. We are grateful for the governing authorities you have established here to promote peace, order, and justice. We pray, O Lord, for our mayor, city officials, and this assembled council. We ask that you graciously grant them the ability to work together in harmony when there's honest disagreement. There are many items on the forthcoming agenda that need special attention, so Lord, please give our council the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding necessary to enhance the vision of College Park. As they proceed with the agenda, please assure them of what is pleasing to you and what would benefit those who live and work in the city of College Park. Grant personal peace in their lives and the lives of all in attendance. Remember all who serve the city tirelessly and keep them sheltered under your presence, including all first responders, and protect them and their families. Comfort those who have suffered the loss of their loved ones through tragic circumstances. Bless our homes and children, protect the homeless, support the aged, and heal the sick. Lord, bless all the businesses so they can thrive and give excellent service. Continue to watch over our city, state, and nation. It's in the blessed name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and according to my faith, in Jesus' holy name, amen.
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 Mayor, the next item on the agenda is the civility pledge, which will be led by Chief Rogers.
Good evening, Mayor and Council,
Good evening.
Evening.
residents. The civility pledge reads as such: the way we govern ourselves is often as important as the positions we take. Our collective decisions would be better when differing views have had the opportunity to be fully vetted and considered. All people have the right to be treated with respect, courtesy, and openness. We value all input. We commit to conduct ourselves at all times with civility and courtesy to each other.
The next item on the agenda is an announcement by the Chief of Police.
Good evening once again. Just as we conduct business this evening, just remember the civility pledge. Be respectful and conduct yourself in order. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda.
Are there any?
Yes. For some reason, 9G is on the agenda. I asked to have it removed before this came out. So I'd like to have that, I'd like to make a motion, I guess when we make a motion to have that 9G removed.
And also 7A,
I'm sorry, sir?
7A.
Item 7A from
Yeah.
the public hearing.
7A.
Okay.
Okay. What was the first one? G?
9G.
9G.
I'm sorry.
The no before song?
No, the goats.
What'd you mean? 9G is being removed, and 7A.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda?
I've got a few. Let's see. This is item 8B. I want that item removed from the agenda. There,
Item 8E,
B is in boy, I believe. Is
B
that
is
correct, sir?
in boy.
that was 8B.
Oh, that's a Biden, that's for Biden, that's not.
8B, yes.
You want it removed from consent or removed from the agenda? I'm sorry, I just want
Removed
clarifications.
from
I can,
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me okay? Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Apologies. That's better. Removed from the agenda.
Thank
Yes.
That's a Biden.
8B is in boy.
It's on the wrong agenda.
The city pays that.
I have
But Biden should be the one that's approved.
Wait, hold on. Councilmember Carn is speaking.
Also, I do have an announcement. My DMO board member is not going to be able to continue as a DMO representative. So tonight, I am appointing Mr. Julian Reasonover. It's Mr. Julian Reasonover as the Ward 2, I'm sorry, not DMO, my mistake, Main Street Board member. Main Street Board member. His last name is Reason, the word reason and over together. So it's spelled just like it sounds, Reasonover.
So where do you want that on the
It's
agenda?
Julian. Well, we used to have a spot for announcements, I guess, which was D, I guess. Used to be additions, deletions, announcements.
But that needs to
along
be,
those lines.
that's subject to approval by the council, so
Well, I'll make that into a motion.
it needs to be put on the agenda, so then,
All right, well, we
So
can
where would you
add
like
it on the agenda. It could be one of the first items or the last item, doesn't make a difference. Wherever you think is fine with me.
we will add it to last item on regular business, so that would be, it would be the new 9H.
All right, H.
So the appointment of Ward 2 Main Street representative. Anything else, Councilmember Carn?
No, that'll do it.
Councilmember Gay?
I would like to remove item 8B.
That's already been brought up.
Who brought it up?
Councilmember Carn?
What did he do with it?
Just removed it.
So where the additions, deletions, amendments, or changes, he's already said that he wants to remove 8B.
Okay. Beat me to it.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Any other additions, deletions, amendments, or changes? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
What are we voting on? We're not going to vote on each one of these individually?
No, ma'am.
I'd like to vote on them individually because I can't vote on all of these. I can't do this as a consent agenda.
Okay. All right. So, all those in, or I'm sorry, is there a motion to remove item 7A from the agenda?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Second.
I heard you. Thank you.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Yes, 7A is, what are we doing?
This was the city manager's request
This
to
is-
remove 7A, I believe.
Janice Drive.
This is
Okay.
consideration
Right.
of an action on a
All
set, to set a public hearing
Okay.
date
All right.
for the rezoning at 4144 Janice Drive.
I understand, thank you. I'm okay with that.
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that is unanimous. Is there a motion to remove item 9G?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carr. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that is unanimous. Is Is there a motion to add, which would, a new 9H, which would be the appointment of the Ward 2 Main Street representative?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion?
Yeah. I'm just, okay, no, I don't have any discussion.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right. So that passes with Councilmembers Carn, Arnold, and Gay in favor, and Councilmember McKenzie opposed. And removal of item 8B. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, that is unanimous. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, that is unanimous.
The next item on the agenda is the approval of the workshop session minutes dated September 3rd, 2024.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, that is unanimous.
The next item on the agenda is the approval of the regular meeting minutes dated September 3rd, 2024.
Is there a motion? Motion died, okay. All right, thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion?
Yes, I have discussion. Line 694, the spelling of Dr. Bo Mulaney's name is V as in vote, O as in ocean, L, M as in man, A as in apple, L, A as in apple, N, I, or N as in Nancy, rather, I, and E as in eat. Line
you.
694.
Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, that is unanimous.
The next item on the agenda is the approval of a proclamation for the Public Power and Green Power Week.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, that is unanimous.
The next item on the agenda is the proclamation for a Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, that is unanimous.
Item C is a proclamation for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion?
I had discussion.
All right, Councilmember Gay?
Before we finish the consideration for proclamation, we failed to add the Fire Week, which is October 1st. I didn't realize that elected officials had to add them. I thought that was just for department directors. So we need to add the Fire Week. If this is for October proclamations, are we voting on October proclamations?
Councilmember, could you speak into your microphone, please?
I said, before we get done with this section on proclamations, I'm gonna need to add the Fire Week. It starts October. It's governor, that's a governor mandated program. Fire and EMS Week,
EMS.
that's October.
Any further discussion?
No, thank you.
Are we still on 5B, 5C? Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, would you like to reconsider the agenda and add an item? I'm just asking.
There's a motion to do so.
Then we have a motion on the table to add a proclamation for Fire and EMS Week for the week of October 1st.
And that is by Councilmember Gay.
So move.
Is there a second?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion?
Discussion. Again, is this something that we have, I mean, does it have to be added to the agenda? Can this be done without a vote?
Ordinance 2024-01 says if you want to present it at a meeting, it's got to be voted on.
I guess the clarification is that's if it's from the entire body, but an individual member of the governing body can have a proclamation signed without the permission of a majority of the governing body. That's in the case of all 5 members of the governing body signing the proclamation.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
All right. So Councilmembers Carn, Arnold, and Gay are in favor. Councilmember McKenzie abstains. The motion passes.
So then, the motion to approve the proclamation for Fire and EMS Week, beginning October 1st.
Councilmember Gay, is that your motion?
I'm just announcing the item.
Is there a motion?
1 second, Mayor. It's October 6th through 12th.
Thank you, sir. I'll make sure that we get that done.
Is there a motion?
Motion?
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Is there a second?
Second, are we
Thank-
voting again, or is this
Yeah,
another
we
vote?
already did the motion.
No.
So the
No.
first
No.
vote was to add the item to the agenda, because we did not do that when we approved the agenda.
Right.
This is actually approving the proclamation.
Okay.
So we had to add it to the agenda before we could actually approve the proclamation, if I understand your rules properly.
All right, second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
All right, so the motion passes with Councilmembers Carn, Arnold, and Gay in favor, Councilmember McKenzie abstaining.
Mayor, the next item on the agenda is the remarks of our citizens. The first person to speak will be Spicita Jackson. I'm going to ask her to wait just a second. Okay. You'll come on. I'm good. I'm ready for you. I'm trying to be ready.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. How are you guys?
Good evening.
I haven't seen y'all in a long time. And so I'm coming here to talk about, do I have to announce? I'm Spicita Jackson, 1937 Cambridge Avenue. I'm a business owner. I am also a resident of the city, and I am professionally an accountant, an auditor, former auditor, and all that good stuff. So I said that it's important for me to come and speak on the matter of us choosing and changing auditors, just to weigh in with, my experience and et cetera. And so I want to kick this conversation off, or just comment off with, we don't want our evil or our good to be evil spoken of, okay? And what I mean by that is changing your auditor is good. And having Banks Manley White, that's a reputable firm. So is Malden Jenkins, but we don't want to do things in an environment that just cause such ruckus for no reason. Like, we have to have some internal controls. We have to have some decorum and protocol. We have to stop doing things that make us appear as if there's a lack of transparency. Because this is kind of like someone bringing a good prospect to marry home for dinner. But then you show up and say, hey, we eloped. How would a father feel about that? How do the citizens feel about that? We want to have situations where I know that, yeah, maybe we didn't do it in the past, and maybe we didn't put it out for bid in the past, but we're in the present, and we're all moving forward. So in a spirit of process, and just giving people a good environment to come into, because I will say personally, I think Banks Manley White is a good firm. They're known for government, et cetera. I think our process in which we bring them forth to the community, to the citizens, to the city is really messed up. So I really want us to, moving forward, whatever happens today, I just wish that we can just follow some processes. Like when we do things like with vendors and things like that, we don't want people just spending six figures without the citizens like knowing something about it. Put it out for RFP, because I also believe that if we did put it out for RFP, right, they were chosen, then it feels good for the community. Okay, so this is the last thing I want to say, and I hope I get this right, because I've been trying to, I said, he who has the goal, right, rules. All of you guys have the control. You rule. You don't have to rule with the iron fist. You don't have to make it dramatic. Just follow a process that makes it feel good.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. I don't have very much to say on this. I just want to just make sure that from my perspective, I just let you guys know that I believe that the accounting profession is a profession of high honor and integrity, and just we follow generally accepted accounting principles, generally accepted auditing standards, and those standards will be adhered to no matter who we choose, because that's what we have to follow. But I am here specifically to talk about the processes in which we choose to spend $100,000, the processes in which we choose to deliver and present things to the citizens. It just doesn't have to be this way, and I'm just asking that moving forward, if we can just, even if I know we didn't, in this case, it sounds like we didn't have time to put it out for an RFP because we have to do the award and all this stuff. We just got to have a better process and respect for our own process. And even if we didn't have it in the past, we need to have one in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a minute 55 left. Was that you, Mr. Walker?
No, it's
Or
Mr. Coleman.
Okay. Mr. Coleman? Okay. Next, for citizen comment, is Jovan Jefferson at 3300 College Street. There is no topic of discussion. Okay. The next citizen is James Walker at 2071 Rugby. Topic of discussion is hate speech.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Mayor. Evening, Councilman McKenzie. Yeah, so all this sounds good. Spicita came up and gave y'all the playbook. Apparently we all have given you playbooks, but you're going to do exactly what you want to do. We understand that this is a time where you have the power, and you're going to listen to us or pretend to listen to us while you sit and doodle on your phones and on your pads, but nothing really ever happens. Councilman Gay walks in and out. Councilman Carnes looks down. But let me just say this. We have a civility pledge that's supposed to be enacted, and several times, I think Stanley Muhammad came up here, and he spewed hate speech. And I don't know why we have a pledge that's not enacted or not adhered to or not really addressed. I saw the chief talking to council, to Stanley Muhammad in a way that I wish he would have talked to us when we were thrown out of the council chambers. And I have an issue with that. Hate speech is defined as anything that is intimidating or discriminating against one group. So if we're going to sit here and allow hate speech, then say that. And it will be actionable for creating a hostile and working council chambers that we live in, that we actually preside in and come together in to discuss issues pertaining to the city. But for this person, I'm not going to call his name anymore because he doesn't deserve that, to sit here and be fed and to be gaslighted by certain members of council is a disgrace. Is a disgrace. And I think you all should really reconsider, really letting this person spew this hateful rhetoric to people, white people and black people in Ward 1. I've been referred to as a house Negro, but house Negroes are, I think Malcolm X said they're light-skinned. I'm definitely not light-skinned. Right. So I think the facts need to be outlined of what is what before he comes up here. And Chief Rogers, please, in the future, make sure that we are adhering to the civility pledge, and whoever comes up here spewing hate is dealt with accordingly, like we were when we were thrown out of council chambers. Secondly, Councilman McKenzie, I caution you, and I had a issue. I have a client, Carly Red. It appears that there was an issue with, I think, the STEM project that you had where you got $30,000 of taxpayer dollars, and we still don't know what that was used for, but I think you probably owe her an apology.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I have no further citizen comments that are present, but I do have two from online, if it pleases the council. The first citizen comment is from Grace Phillips. It was received on 9/10 at 10:44 a.m. Grace Lunsford is a resident, and she said, "Good evening. Please add Citizen Advisory Board to the College Park Strategic Agenda for implementation in 2025. In Durham, North Carolina, the Citizen Advisory Board Committee has been instrumental in community engagement, particularly in housing and urban development. It has provided feedback on housing policies, community development, block grants, and neighborhood improvements, leading to more inclusive and equitable city planning. In Atlanta, Georgia, the Citizen Review Board focuses on police conduct and accountability. It has successfully increased transparency and accountability in police operations by investigating complaints of police misconduct and recommending changes in policies and practices. It has improved public trust in law enforcement. In College Park, we have various boards, but none are truly citizen-led. They are comprised of hand-picked nominees from the mayor and council. I suggest we move away from egos and agendas and open these boards up to citizen volunteers. I also suggest increasing the number of openings on each board to better represent the diverse viewpoints of our eclectic community. We urgently need 2 citizen advisory boards to address at the present moment. 1, the City Charter Advisory Board. The goal is to modernize our outdated and criticized charter and build in a code of ethics and consequences for our elected leadership. 2, Citizen Green Space and Pedestrian Safety Advisory Board. The goal is to create a strategic plan for walkways and green space, building in protections to prevent the future loss of dedicated athletic and leisure spaces deemed priceless to the community. This board should work in collaboration with BIDA. Again, I plead for the Soration and establishing these new boards and for the next cycle of our current boards. It is valued for its ability to create a more inclusive and representative decision-making process, offering an alternative or complement to traditional electoral systems. It is an ancient democratic practice that dates back to classical Athens, where it is used to select citizens for public office, juries, and other civic duties. The key idea behind this sortation, I think is what it is that it allows for equal opportunity among eligible participants, reducing bias that might come from elections or appointments based on wealth, popularity, or connections. Key features include random selection. Individuals are chosen at random from a pool of eligible candidates, ensuring that all have equal chance of being selected. Representation can also help ensure that diverse cross-section of population is represented, as it avoids the influence of campaign funding, partisanship, or other factors that skew election results. It reduces corruption and bias by randomly selecting members. It minimizes the influence of special interest and reduces risk of corruption or nepotism. Democratic legitimacy, it is seen as a way to enhance democratic legitimacy by involving ordinary citizens directly in governance rather than relying solely on elected representatives, which is presently destroying trust in College Park. Councilpersons, please deeply consider this request if you want to bring our collective city into the future and eliminate the diversive ward boundaries. do this. It does not matter whether we are descendants of slaves, missionaries, plantation owners, or explorers. We live in College Park in 2024 as people who love where we live and want the best for all. I volunteer to work with the community and staff to recruit community members, draw up guidelines, and implement the CBAs in 2025. Please add this proposal to the September 30th City Council meeting to discuss a way and move forward with this request. Grace Lunsford. The second request that I have is from James. I always get this wrong. Is it Mose? Mose, thank you. It's concerns regarding interim city manager Dr. Adadaran's performance and accountability in city affairs. Dear Mayor and Council, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing today to express some significant concerns regarding the performance of interim city manager Dr. Adadaran, particularly his lack of transparency, accountability, and consistency in delivering city manager reports, as well as other critical duties impacting our community. As you may know, out of the 11 meetings that Dr. Adadaran has participated in, he failed to deliver a city manager's report in 9 of those meetings. This pattern is troubling and leaves residents like myself in the dark about critical matters regarding the city. I am often left to assume what is happening in the city of College Park because there is no direct communication from our city manager on key issues. This is concerning for the role as important as he is, especially in a weak mayor system where his reports are critical for transparency and public awareness. One particularly pressing matter is the ongoing issue of the rock wall at the Tracy Wyatt Recreation Center. This council delegated the decision regarding the rock wall to Dr. Adadaran, entrusting him with the responsibility to make the best executive decision. Since that time, we have had no real updates. There was an investigation launched back in June, and the company responsible for installing the rock wall inspected it and confirmed it was safe for use. However, here we sit in September and the rock wall remains closed. I ask a simple question on the website regarding whether the rock wall would be available for upcoming fall festival, but I have yet to receive a response. The community has entrusted Dr. Adadaran with $60,000 to conduct this investigation, yet there has been no conclusion or update, even though the inspection results have been available for months. Why are we now continuing to entrust the interim city manager with even greater responsibilities, such as overseeing a proposal of a $196 million budget? Given the ongoing failures in transparency and responsibility regarding the rock wall and his repeated inability to provide necessary city manager reports, I question his readiness for this level of responsibility. Dr. Adadaran's repeated failure to fulfill his duties not only impacts the functioning of the city, but also erodes the trust within the community. His lack of consistent reporting and responsibility leaves the public, including myself, wondering what is truly happening in College Park. If he cannot be relied upon to deliver regular updates, how can we trust him to manage larger, more complex city matters? I sincerely urge the council to consider the amount of trust placed in Dr. Adadaran and hold him accountable for his responsibilities. Our community deserves transparency, professionalism, and leadership of its city officials, and it's clear that Dr. Adadaran's current performance does not meet these expectations. Thank you for your attention to these concerns. I look forward to seeing more accountability and communication moving forward for a betterment of College Park. Sincerely, Mose James IV.
Point of clarification.
We don't respond to public comment.
No, I'm not responding to the public comment. This has nothing.
Okay, so we're still in public
Oh, we're still in public comment?
Yep,
Okay.
we sure are.
Okay, I thought that was it. I thought she
No,
was saying that was it. Okay.
So if anyone
All right, I'll
wishes to
come back
speak,
later.
they can approach at this time.
Is there time?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought we were finished. Just point of clarification. Did we vote to, are the email comments, email comments, are they supposed to be to 3 minutes, limited to 3 minutes as well?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I believe that all public comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. I did not know that there was an extension on public comments. It seems like those comments were more than 3 minutes.
Okay.
That's all, just
Next time I'll make
clarification.
sure that I run timer for those. I can't do both on those, but I can try.
I just
Sorry,
want,
my apologies to the community and to the mayor and council.
doesn't have anything to do with the comments themselves, but it's just in being fair to all of our residents. If a person comes down here and speaks and they're only given 3 minutes, then it should still be the same. I think we had said 6 minutes would be limited to email comments, and each that would allow up to 3 minutes per comment.
Agreed. I do apologize to the mayor, council, and to the community if I did go over the 3-minute mark on any of the comments that I read this evening. The next item on the agenda is number 7, formerly B. It is public hearing for the adoption of the proposed millage rate for fiscal year 2024-25. This item is requested by Karen Slayton Dixon, Interim Director of Finance and Accounting, in collaboration with Dr. Emmanuel Adadiran, Interim City Manager.
All right, is there a presentation to be made? Dr. Adadiran? Anyone?
It's coming.
They're discussing.
Good evening, Mr. Latona.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Evening.
Just here for public comments on our proposed millage rate for 24-25 at 11.608.
All right, at this time, I'll declare the public hearing open. If anyone wishes to speak on the proposed millage rate, they may do so at this time. This time, the public hearing is closed.
All right. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Would you like for me to read the headings, Madam Mayor?
I will go ahead and do that.
Okay,
Consideration
I do have a couple of additions
You have additions?
with some dollar amounts on certain items. If you'll pause in between, I can tell you the amounts on the ones that are impacted.
All right, so that's consideration of an action on a request to move forward with East Coast Grading, Inc. to perform the street resurfacing work on John Calvin, Northwest Drive, East Main Street, Winthrop Road, Mount Vernon Way, under the Georgia Department of Transportation 2024 Local Maintenance and Improvement Grant Program in the amount of $316,400.63. Consideration of, consideration of an action item to retain One Talent, Inc. to identify at-risk youth in our city, especially girls ages 8 to 18, and place them in various structured initiatives that promote their safety and improve their quality of life. I believe that's $30,000, correct?
That's in the amount of $35,000.
$35,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion to approve equipping previous approval of 15 new or replacement vehicles for the police department in the amount of $228,625.87. Consideration of an action on a request for approval of 2 invoices through an intergovernmental agreement between the City of College Park and Fulton County, Georgia, for the provision of 800 megahertz radio system access in the amount of $246,492. Consideration of an action on a request to pay the invoice from Sage.gov software for code enforcement inspections, business license, customer service, accounting in the amount of $84,410. Consideration of an action on a request to approve No4 cybersecurity training software. I believe that's what, 80-something?
This is in the amount of $24,639.18.
Thank you, ma'am. Consideration of an action on a request to add 2 stop signs at Wally Parkway and Frontage Road to turn that intersection from a 2-way stop to a 4-way stop.
Those stop signs are in-house already.
And consideration of an action on a request for professional financial audit services from Bailey, Banks, Finley, and White
In the amount of $108,900.
Consideration of an action on a request to host a seminar on how to do business with College Park. Is there a cost on that?
I do not have one.
All right, so by my total, we've got approximately $1,069,093.68. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 That is unanimous.
The next item is regular business item 9A. It's consideration of an action on a special event permit for Providence Baptist Church to hold a fall festival to be held October 12th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is the request of the Deputy City Clerk, Queenie Brown. This event will be held in Ward 3.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
Item 9B is consideration of an action on a special event permit for RBBY, Inc. to host the Prostate Cancer Award Health Fair on September 28th, 2024, from 7:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at 1745 Phoenix Boulevard. This is the request of Deputy City Clerk Queenie Brown, and the event will be held in Ward 3.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That's unanimous.
Consideration of an action for the City of College Park / GICC to partner with Helping Hands Holiday Dinner, a private 501c3 nonprofit organization. The city is asked to provide complimentary banquet space with a comp value of $30,000, use of the specified venue equipment and setup of this event space for the 2024 dinner event. This event is in Ward 2. The request is being made by Giannis Barner, Interim Executive Director.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second. Oh.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie.
I think she was first.
I heard you.
Okay.
All right, any discussion? Is this a gratuity?
No, this is a city-sponsored event.
It says a comp value, so we're comping $30,000.
Despite the use of that word comp, I understand it to be a city-sponsored event, much like other events that the City of College Park hosts at the GICC and other city facilities.
Okay, so ignore what it says. All right. Any further discussion?
I do have a comment. Mayor, anybody who was on the consent agenda who wishes to leave may do so at this time.
So, all right, Councilmember Arnold?
If there's a problem with the language, can we adjust it so that it doesn't?
I mean, you could, Councilwoman, but to my mind, that's not necessary.
Okay.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous.
Item 9D, consideration of an action on a request to a text amendment to prohibit vape shops in select districts of the city and a use requiring conditional use permits in 2 districts, C2 and BP in the city. This applies to all wards.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
9E, consideration of an action on a request to amend Appendix A, Article 9, sign standards in the city's Code of Ordinances. This is a request by the city planner. It applies to all wards.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. That's unanimous.
Item 9F, motion to adopt findings, the Flint Headwaters Natural Preserve Funding Resolution for submission to the Department of Natural Resources 2024 Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Program Grant.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
The new item G, formerly H, was consideration of an action on a request for approval to extend contract September 30th, 2024 for Rose Stewart and approve additional estimated expenses. This is a request from the interim city manager, Dr. Emmanuel. This is not a budgeted item.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Noon, item 9H is the appointment of Ward 2 Main Street Representative. The name that I have been given is Julian Reasonover.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. The motion passes with Council members Carn, Arnold, and Gay in favor. Councilmember McKenzie abstains.
The next item on the agenda is the city attorney's report.
No report this evening.
The next report is the city manager's report.
No report.
The next item on the agenda is the report of the mayor and council.
As always, we always have some eventful time in between our weeks when we are not meeting, but had the opportunity to join the Metro Atlanta Mayors Association today and participate in a discussion on the evolution of AI and what it means to cities and how we can employ some of this technology to help improve our service to our community, including using things like road assessments in a objective way so that we are looking to make sure that we are hitting those areas that may not necessarily be on someone's radar, but may be in very dire need of attention, and that we are doing that in a way that is equitable and takes into account the condition of our roads instead of, eyeballing it from folks who may or may not be experts in the field. And so just one example of the discussion that we had today, want to thank the Georgia Municipal Association, Mayor Vince Williams, who is the head of the Metro Atlanta Mayors Association, and all the mayors who participated in that discussion. It was a great time, and then went right over to WABE, the local NPR affiliate, and had a conversation with Mayor Holiday Ingram from East Point and Mayor Sartor from Jonesboro about some of the very exciting things that are happening in 2024 in regard to leadership and Black women, and what it means on a local scale, what it means on a national scale, and that should be coming out soon. So it was a fruitful conversation, and I was glad to participate. A couple of weeks ago, had the opportunity to go to Brazelton and share with the component, the county component, county counterpart, of the Georgia Municipal Association. We had a joint meeting. GMA and ACCG, our legislative policy councils, met. As the first vice president of the Georgia Municipal Association, I'm also chair of the Legislative Policy Council. And so when the legislative session kicks off in January, we will be meeting every single Monday morning to keep track of the bills that are going on and that are getting introduced in the legislature, because a lot of those have impacts on cities. And so sometimes GMA and ACCG are not always friends under the Gold Dome, but we are trying to change that and find the areas of commonality in which we can move forward together on bills that will impact both cities and counties. So we had a in-depth discussion about the local option sales tax, because this time a couple of years ago when we were going through the process and trying to work with the county, our experience with Clayton County was a breeze. Our experience with Fulton County was very different, and we had some challenges. So we want to make sure that when it comes up again after the next census, that the process itself is easier for all parties involved. And the legislature is going to be taking a look at that again to try to see if there's a path forward that works for cities and counties alike. Because frankly, I don't think that they want to get into the weeds with it. I think it's really more of an opportunity for cities and counties to be able to craft a solution that works best for the most number of people. We also talked about House Bill 581, and that's a very, very important bill that voters will have an opportunity to weigh in on in November. And it is expected to pass handily, because it essentially freezes property values. It does not allow a county to raise property values more than essentially inflation adjusted. And that's going to be a great savings for homeowners while they stay in their homes. Now, if they sell, it will go to that market value, but we're expecting that to pass, and so we had a really robust discussion between our organizations about what that means for both cities and counties, and how we can best message that to our residents. There's going to be a number of seminars about it. GMA is actually doing one that's going to be recorded so people can learn a little bit more about it, because it's a very, very important bill that will change the landscape in terms of taxation in the entire state. So also had the opportunity to participate in National League of Cities Local Infrastructure Hub Boot Camp. It is a multiple week process where we learn how to get more federal money, because there's a lot of it out there. And we want to make sure that we are getting our fair share in College Park, because if we're not getting it, then someone else is getting it. And so we want to be prepared for making sure that we've got projects ready and that we have applications that are going to be attractive to the folks who are evaluating them. And so this local infrastructure hub boot camp gives us the tools to do that. We had our former Director of Airport Affairs, Brecca Carter, participate in it. Since she's no longer with us because the position was eliminated, I thought it was really important for us to have someone who could understand what the feds are looking for as we see the opportunities within our community. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the time with the local infrastructure hub boot camp, and I think that's about all I've got. Councilmember McKenzie?
Okay, get this together. Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, everyone. It's so good to see you all this evening, and those of you that are watching via Facebook and through YouTube. Excited that this month is National Hispanic Heritage Month, and looking forward to see what activities we will be hosting here as a city. But aside from it being Hispanic Heritage Month, it is also National Suicide Prevention Month. And in honor of mental health, which is really an issue for so many, and I think that during the COVID pandemic, we found that we have even more mental health challenges. We will be holding a specific suicide, or I should say a mental health community forum with a distinguished panel of mental health providers on September 28th from 2 to 4 at the Public Safety Building. There will be advertising on the website as well as our Facebook and all social media. We want to encourage you to get people to come out, but it will also be on TV channel 23. We want to really get this message that life is worth living and suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary situation. Last week, I had the opportunity to be a part of the food giveaway that Favor House, which is an amazing organization in our community, continues to give back to our citizens. And the beautiful thing that I love about when we participate in those activities, we see all kinds of people that are coming to get food. They're riding in anything from a Toyota, a 1990 Toyota, to a 2021 Range Rover. So we realize that food insecurity is an issue for so many of the persons that live in our community. I was happy to serve with Commissioner Natalie Hall. Also during that time, I was able to go and actually see some amazing, I love to use that word amazing, but work that's being done in our community by Legacy of Glory Ministries. They have actually purchased the apartment complex that's behind the Chevron on Main Street, and they are renovating those apartments. And I mean, those apartments have granite countertops, stainless steel. They're beautiful inside. The restrooms have marble, the stone walls. I mean, it's just beautiful. And they are offering these apartments to persons at a very affordable rate, because one of the goals is that they want to be able to have our staff that work for this city be able to afford to live in this city. So shout out to Pastor Adrian and his congregation for coming to our community and making a difference. It's been a wonderful first 2 weeks of September. We had the soft launch of the Empowerment Zone, which is a contract that, and I want to thank my colleagues here on council who unanimously voted to award this contract to Emergent Educational Solutions, and I may be saying their name incorrect, but it's an organization that has been working in our community for years with our young people, and they will be starting, I think they'll be launching their program actually on October 1st, and they already have, I see you shaking your head, Mr. Anderson, you're involved in that. They have identified youth in our community, and from what I'm seeing, it's going to be several more. And we are just grateful to have entrepreneurs that want to work with our community. Also, on this past Saturday, I had the opportunity to speak for the South Metro Democratic Women's Council. They have their 10th anniversary. Eleanor Cornelius, who's my former colleague from the BIDA board, she served as our president on BIDA, I think, for about 3 years. Eleanor is the president there now, and I was asked to speak, and I want to thank my colleague, Councilwoman Tracy Arnold, for being there with us. She introduced me, and it was a wonderful, wonderful time that we had with the women there. I also, that same day, attended and spoke at a symposium that was hosted by Project Torchlight to address issues that our youth are facing and how we can better reach them. You know, a lot of the crime that we have committed in our city, specifically when it comes to breaking in cars or stealing cars, are happening with young teenagers. And we've got to find a way to get to them before the system gets to them. The same evening, which is this past Saturday, we held our first family movie night at the City Auditorium at 6 p.m. And we had over 104, I know I have 104 names written down, so I'm thinking we probably had more than 104 persons from the community came out. It was exciting. We had fathers with their children. We had mothers and fathers. We had every ethnicity that College Park has. It was a diverse group and a wonderful time. It was so great that some of the children, when they left, they said, "Can we do this again tomorrow?" I'm like, I don't think so, but maybe next month. So I want to thank Lance and Brian Anderson. Who else did we have? Mr. Cook from Recreation. Thank you for coming out on a Saturday and helping us to get it going. I want to thank the Granville firm. Once again, the Granville group comes through and they took care of all the food, and we had lots and lots of food. In fact, we had too much food, too many sweets. Next time we're going to cut down on those sweets. But, and then I want to thank the Dream Team. The Dream Team, Mr. Anderson, Kenneth Anderson, did all the cooking for us. And Pamela Greer, she held our registration down and made sure that everybody felt like they were cared for, but they brought our hospitable, try to get that word together. And last but not least, I want to thank our City of College Park Police Department. We had Officer Porsche and Officer Ellis, and they were there. They brought the popcorn machine. And what I love about our police officers, they don't just come and stand around, they help. And so we want to thank you for your help. Today, I attended the Governor's Tourism Conference with Explore Georgia, which was held in Atlanta. It ends tomorrow, which I won't be able to attend that day, but my focus today, as I attended those classes, was how we can incorporate AI, and I'm glad to hear the mayor mention that that's what she was doing as well. AI we don't want to miss that. And so how we can incorporate AI into our city marketing and our branding and everything that we're going to be doing moving forward in our community. Also, I was looking into creative entrepreneurship. I hear that, in fact, Councilman Carn, I'm joining him with how to do business in the city of College Park. We'll be kicking that off. I'll let him talk more about that, but that's going to happen in October. We want to encourage entrepreneurs to come to our city. And in my ward alone, I'm just amazed at all the business owners that we have. And we want to present opportunities for those business owners that live in this city to do business with this city and to be able to grow and to thrive in the city where they live. I also attended a class of diverse storytelling and branding, as I already mentioned. Tomorrow is IT Professionals Day, and I want to shout out to Mr. Mike Hicks and his team and our IT team. We have the best IT team in the whole entire state of Georgia, and not only do we have an amazing team, we have our All-Star of the Month is none other than Miss Kanika, and she's our IT database analyst. So this, not only in this month do we have IT Professionals Day, but we also in this month are celebrating our All-Star of the Month, Miss Kanika. Thank you, Mike, for all that you and your team do. All righty. Tomorrow I continue. I know I got a lot of stuff because we're doing a lot of stuff. Tomorrow I will continue the Regional Leadership Institute with the Atlanta Regional Commission. This will be, I think, my third class, and then on Wednesday we continue. It's an all-day class. I'm with 57 leaders that come from 11 different municipalities in the state of Georgia, or counties actually in the state of Georgia, and this has been a phenomenal experience. The bonding, the networking, the sharing of information, and I'm excited about bringing all of that right back here to our city. Last but not least, in my report tonight, I want you to know that we are moving forward with sidewalks on Fairway, and so in the next few weeks we plan to break the ground up and get everything done so that we can have sidewalks going from Oxford Walk all the way to Washington Road. And then later in the year we will look at being able to, and it may have to be in the next budget cycle, but being able to also have a sidewalk so that you can walk from Washington Road up to Rugby. But I want to let everybody in Oxford Walk know we're getting ready to get it done. Also, these last 2 weeks have been working again with Michael Hicks, and I want to, Denard is somewhere here. Major Denard, thank you so much, and all of our public works, I'm not going to miss the names. We have been busy working on the Brady Trail, and we have now determined areas where we're going to have safety cameras. Not only is there security cameras, rather, but lighting. Oh, you, Richardson, has become a part of this as well. Thank you, Mr. Richardson, and your team. But we want to make that so that we can really enjoy the green spaces that we have, and especially I'm proud to be able to offer that to our community. So we put money into the budget. We also will be working with Public Works. They have already identified, we've got that expensive piece of equipment that we approved at the last meeting is going to allow us to remove the kudzu. So that, you know, what happens with that kudzu, you end up having snakes and all other kinds of things. So we want to make it safer for us in every single way. So the Brady Trail, many of you have noticed the asphalt art that we have on the street, Main Street. As you drive up Main Street, and then also further up Main Street, you will see that we have painted the Virginia Avenue Bridge. And I want to thank John Duke for that, for his participation in that. And we're looking at even more beautiful artwork in the city. Also, we have been working on green space beautification on the City Hall lawn. And so I met with the Public Works team today, and I'm not going to tell you everything. You have to keep on watching our little, the One Ward One website and see some of the updates that we're doing. Also met with the interim city manager today to discuss the moving forward with our employee quiet space. We will be putting our first employee quiet space right here in City Hall. We already have the massage chairs, but we want to make it beautiful. We want to make it a place where our employees can come in and really feel the solace. So hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be able to roll that out right here for our employees, because every single employee in the city of College Park is appreciated. And we want you to know that we care about you and we're providing a space, because it gets kind of difficult sometimes working here, but we love you and we appreciate you. Last but not least, we are resurfacing and painting the Barrett Park tennis courts. We've also created pickleball there, and I don't know, didn't drive by yesterday, so I don't know if we're completed, but we have been resurfacing that as well, and we will be resurfacing the track at Badgett and doing some repairs at the Brady Center within the next 4 to 6 weeks. That's all I have. I know it was a lot, but love this city, love you all. Came in here with my sleeves rolled up, and I'm excited about the participation of our staff, our interim city manager, my colleagues, because you see the vision. We see the vision of a better, a brighter city of College Park, a place where everyone can thrive. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Carn?
All right. I got a few things. I attended the funeral of one of our College Park citizens, Mr. Isaac Henderson. His homecoming was in Montgomery, Alabama. Drove down, and several other College Park residents that did attend as well. He was one of the directors of the College Park Cares team, and really great guy, very spiritual guy. I'd like to send blessings and condolences to the Henderson family, his wife, Gloria, and his stepchildren, as well as his mother, Miss Mary, who I had the pleasure of actually meeting for the first time, unfortunately, at the funeral. So it was, we represented for the city. He was born in Alabama, and his homegoing was in Alabama, but he had a home here in College Park as well, so he will be missed. A couple of other things. The mayor mentioned the state outfits, the GMA and ACCG, NACO and NLC. I served as a member of all four as commissioner as well as city council member. Garnering statewide consensus is very, very, very important in terms of the legislation that goes forward or not, as well as on a national level. And we've got to do our part. I think we have been doing our part to add to quality of life here in College Park. I think we're doing well. We have tightened our belts with this budget that we have partaken on starting in July, due to the fact that we did that and managed the money well. City manager, finance, all of the departments that worked hard to make sure we had probably the most dynamic budget that covered our citizens, that covered our employees. Did we cover our employees? We made sure that they had the raises. We made sure that they had the increases that they needed. We doubled the utility credits for folks that live in this city that are employees, to encourage them to come into this city. Folks, there's no other city doing these things. Not in this region, not at the level that we're doing them in and on. And we're very proud of that. Today, we lowered your property taxes. I'm going to say that again so that it's clear, so that there's no misunderstanding about mismanagement. Quite to the contrary, we lowered our city millage rate, while at the same time investing millions upon millions of dollars in community improvement projects. I'm going to say that again. At the same time we lowered your taxes, we're increasing public services for our residents. And these community improvement projects are concrete, real projects that you can see and you will see in our community. These are community improvements that you can use in our community. And these are community improvements for the first time that will improve our residents' quality of life. Because up here, that is the name of the game. And that's what we all strive to do as a team, not as individuals, as council and mayor, city manager, city attorney, and all of these department heads that are working hard to make sure your quality of life is better. So again, we have raised the quality of services in this city while at the same time lowering your taxes and costs. Now, anybody don't like that, don't like chicken on Sunday. So we are getting it done despite what you may hear, despite what the rumors are. This team is managing your dollars well, and we are watching your dollars well, and we're looking out for our employees and making sure that they're covered well. The How to Do Business in College Park event, it's going to be a very big deal, bringing in some of our local folks to have an opportunity to do business. Again, there are local businesses in this region and in this city that have no idea that they can do business with the government. Yeah, a lot of folks did not know that. Some folks think you have to have some kind of a government license to do business with a government entity. Well, you don't. There's some simple processes and steps that you can take. We will be moving that event up to, I think, Giannis, did we say October 9th? October 9th. The 23rd is obviously a little too short of a time window to make sure we get the kind of run-up we need to bring in the business interest into the city. So we want to make sure that we cover that for October 9th. Speaking of October, who knows what October 7th is? Anybody? Don't say it all at once. Well, I'm glad you asked because I'm going to tell you. October 7th is the last day to register to vote if you want to vote in the November elections, the presidential elections. You know, I was trained by Reverend Albert E. Love in terms of voting and the process, and I credit him with probably one of the biggest reasons that I'm up here today. Voting, the word vote, V-O-T-E, he told me that that was the visual representation of your existence as far as government is concerned. And that's real. That is real. You know, there are two tiers of citizens, a lot of people say. There's your first tier of citizens, which are citizens, Georgia citizens. And then there's another tier, voters. That's the tier we're looking for. City manager, one of the things that we have done over the years in the past is done a push towards voter registration here at City Hall. We've got 21 days until October 7th. What I'd like to see is what we used to do in the past. And the reason being it's so important is that if you look at the city of College Park, out of all of the cities of Fulton County, we tend to have some of the lowest voter turnout of all the cities. And that's not really acceptable. And it's not necessarily specific reasons why that is not acceptable, but one big reason is public policy. Public policy. We talk about the national level and working with GMA and all of those national organizations and our local elected officials. Those state officials look at those numbers when they're figuring out how to divide up the money. And they look to see where the folks are voting. And you may ask the question, well, how's that pie divided up? Well, there are different methods and different calculations, but one factor is where are the voters? Does that make sense? So if we're not voting, we're not going to get a big enough piece of that pie. I hope you're hearing me. So we want to up our voter registration numbers so when they look at College Park's numbers, they're going to see this is a voting community. That means more federal dollars coming our way. That means more state dollars coming our way. So city manager, what we've done in the past is push at the customer service counter. We would have voter registration forms available. There's an electronic Q-scan for voter registration that you can use now with the technology. And folks, just so we're clear, we're talking about nonpartisan voter registration. We're not going for any particular candidate or any particular party. It's like my grandmother used to say, right wing or left wing, it's the same chicken. You need to vote. You need to participate. So we want to make sure everybody participates, but I want to raise our numbers in College Park. I think that's very important to everyone. I met with Shannon James, the chairman of the Aerotropolis, regarding some of our upcoming improvements, and Councilwoman McKenzie, he mentioned he would be in class with you, I believe, tomorrow.
Tomorrow and Wednesday.
Yeah, so we're trying to work on all fronts to make sure we're covering all the bases. A couple other things. Chief, our Q-Scan patrol tags. I'm looking very forward to the implementation, and I want to sit down with you to get an update. I want to see the individual locations. Good. I'm very concerned, in regards of where they'll be placed. And this is some groundbreaking tools that we're using in crime fighting and patrolling in this city of College Park. Folks, we're talking about hundreds of electronic security tags where our patrol methods will be enhanced by hundreds of these tags that will be hit and identified and checked day, night, on all police shifts. We're talking about upping the security in this community. We want a safer community. We want to rid our community of this crime. There will be hundreds of these tags throughout the city, and we're going to make sure that we're covering every base that we can. We're doing some new things, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing new, innovative, groundbreaking things. And there's not a citywide in this county or region that do that. So we're breaking ground, and we are working hard to get it done. One other thing that I want us to also look at, and I wanted to get y'all's consideration on this, taking a look at what's going on in this city. Sometimes we're up here and we see the issues that are on paper, but there's a reality out in the streets and the blocks of College Park that we need to consider as well. One of the things I suggest that we need to do within the next 30 days or so is have an outing, and this is what we call a mobile workshop where council, mayor, city manager, police chief, whoever else, we get in a Sprinter van and we tour this city at night on a Friday night or on a Saturday night, and we get a really real-world glance of everything that's going on out here for a couple of hours to really get a fully realistic assessment of what we may be missing up here or what we may not see sometimes that we're looking at, that our fire department sees, that our code enforcement sees, that our police department sees. Now, if we all do it as a group, this would be considered a public meeting. We have to advertise for it and publish for it, and the public is invited. But this is what's called a mobile workshop. Whereas if we're in the van, the public obviously can't fit in the van, but they can follow us as we go along, stop at different locations, get out of the van, assess things, and talk about what's going on and take a look at what we're seeing. This is important stuff that we need to do, and I'm sure some of us have done that individually. But the important part of it and the effectiveness comes when we do it collectively as a team. We need everybody to see what's going on in our city, not in the middle of the day. We want to see what's going on at different times. So I want to schedule that. I'd like to set that up if there's no objections to it. I really think this is something that would be seriously worthwhile to get a good look at what's going on so that we have no excuse up here not to take action and do the things we got to do. Sometimes you got to see it with your own eyes along with your colleagues. That way there's no denial of what actually is going on and no misunderstanding of what's happening and what we might need to do to double our efforts to do better in this city. So I'd like to see that happen if there's interest. City manager, I'd like to see if we can arrange that as soon as possible, but I want to do it when, Chief, you really think we need to get a good look at what's going on. If that's Friday night at 10 p.m. to 12 a.m., so be it. I want us to get out there And I want us to really see what's going on and assess it and take a look at it from another perspective. So that's all I've got, I believe. I want to make sure my laundry list is taken care of. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you all so much.
Councilmember Arnold?
Thank you. And thank you, Councilman Carn, for giving me that segue in reference to what's happening out on the streets.
Yes, ma'am.
Amen.
Because, I believe that we're doing extremely great work in the community. There is a concern that I have, though, and I don't think it's any secret to anyone. It's about the crime.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You know, and someone said his name in a movie was called The Terminator, that government's first duty and highest obligation is public safety. And so, on September 3rd, we sat here and we met, and it hasn't been a full 2 weeks ago when I requested and urged this governing body to take action on funding additional security measures in our community to keep our citizens safe. And that cost of that unbudgeted need for community safety, I believe, we heard that it was approximately $20,000. And within days, and I mean days, a couple of days after the denial of us doing that, we had, on September 5th, a citizen shot and killed. The very next morning, we had another citizen shot and injured. Then the morning after that, September 7th, we had another individual shot and killed. And all of this was on the Godby Road corridor. This past weekend, we had an individual to rob a business, to run through the College Park Cemetery, to end up in my neighborhood. And thank God that our trusted College Park Police Department was there to catch this assailant. But still, my community and my neighborhood, the individuals who just had the home invasion just a few weeks ago, they are completely upset. They are worried, they're concerned, they are pissed off at us because they think that we don't want to keep them safe. And rightfully so. Later that same day, that was that same day that we all went to go and join Anthony Edwards in the basketball event on Godby Road, there was a woman stabbed on the Southampton Road in those apartments there. And then we turn around, and this past Sunday, we have another woman that's shot. So the question is, what is it going to take? Is it going to take for one of us on this dais to be injured, maimed, shot, killed before we take safety seriously? Because again, it wasn't even a full 2 weeks before we had 6 incidents to happen. 5 on the Godby Road corridor, and one right here on Virginia Avenue. So I'm going to bring it back up again because at this point I believe that we should have already identified where we're going to get the funds to implement these extra safety measures, simple cameras, tag readers, to help support our College Park Police Department in turning these things around. I'm also asking that we get a comprehensive safety plan, right? Because now, like I said, I'm getting the phone calls at night from the citizens. I have a neighbor who has moved out of their home and moved out of College Park, afraid to come back because her home was invaded. So hopefully we can have something no later than October 7th. I support us going out at night. I'm out on Godby Road. I go get my hair braided on, in the South Hampton Plaza there. I go over to Rap-A-Lot, so I'm there at night. I know when the lights are on and when they're not. City manager can tell you. I send them the pictures. So yes, I support that 100%. That's the only way that we're going to be able to see collectively as a body and to be able to give the type of feedback and demand the services that are needed, not just for the people that live on the Godby Road corridor, but for the entire city. Because what we do there needs to happen throughout the city of College Park. Okay, and I'm gonna get off of that. All I know, I'm gonna say one more thing, which is a statement that someone said some time ago, which is when we prepare and prevent, we do not have to repair and repent. So, now to fun times. Over the past 2 weeks, I had the opportunity to participate in some fun activities, and I mentioned the Anthony Edwards basketball event that was held at the TWRC. It was an awesome event. We had a lot of young people there, and they not only learned about they refined their basketball skills, but they also learned how to apply those skills to everyday life, which is always important to help young people to understand the importance of working in teams, team building, being able to communicate, being able to work together to achieve a common goal. This past weekend, I was honored, as my colleague mentioned earlier, to introduce Councilwoman Jamel McKenzie as the guest speaker at the 10th anniversary for the South Metro Democratic Women's Council. I also was joined by my sister and two of my trusted best friends, lifelong friends. And on top of that, I was able to take that evening to then celebrate the 22nd wedding anniversary of my best friend and my cousin, my niece's birthday, and then another friend's birthday. It was a weekend of festivities. And then over the next 2 weeks, we have a bunch of other celebrations that are coming up and things that we're looking forward to, which includes the grand opening, the ribbon cutting over at Zup Park for the resurfacing of the tennis courts and the new pickleball courts. That's opening on the 18th at 6 p.m. On the 19th, Five Strong Scholars will be hosting its 4th annual golf tournament fundraiser. And then on the 28th, I will be hosting a end of summer celebration at the TWRC. And I'm looking forward to that. We have that event is from noon until 4 p.m. And looking forward to that. We have several different community supporters that are helping us to put that event on. And I am not going to name all of them, but I think we have like 5 or 6 that have donated the food and other things that we'll have. And we will actually have a voters registration drive at that time as well for the community. That same day, my church is hosting a dinner theater at East Point First Malibu, and that is from I think noon until 6 as well. Go out and enjoy that if you don't want to come out to the block party. And then on October 5th, I will host a dinner and a movie for the seniors at the Princeton Courts residence. And, at the end of the day, we have a lot of great things that are going on in College Park. And I've just named just a few of the things that are happening in Ward 3. If you would like to look at all of the other events that are going on in Ward 3, please go to our website, which is cpward3.com. That is CPWARD, the number 3.com. and select the link that says Latest News. You'll be able to pull up the news letter to see all of the events that are happening, the times, locations, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Councilmember Gay?
Yes, Mayor, I'll be brief. Just a couple things this evening. I want to, since you brought crime up, Councilwoman, I want to touch on that just a little bit, because fortunately, Ward 4 has the record of the lowest crime.
Yes.
So that being said, let's look at why we the lowest and y'all the highest. One thing I do want to emphasize is that when grown men don't have no money on them and they broke and they're tired, they're angry, they're broken, nothing we said tonight or any camera we gonna put, anything we're gonna do is gonna trump. Because there's a rap song that says, scary money don't make money. And that means essentially that we're gonna do what we need to do to take care of our business. So I said all that to say this. The property owners, in my opinion, need to be part of this solution, because it's hard for people to be safe and comfortable when they live in, bad living environments. You're just not comfortable. So we need to sit down with our property owners, and they're having a challenge to turn a profit and provide a roof. So it's a complex problem. I mean, there's no excuse for nobody killing or hurting anyone, but it's a complex problem. You made me don't even want to go home tonight when you were just talking about the crime.
Sorry.
Let's go stay up under here. But I do know that, and I believe this earnestly, that the chief and her staff, I think they do an amazing job. They have the tools they need. We just all got to come together collectively, and we need to also involve the residents. We need to listen to them, as Councilman McCorn said, go out. We need to hear them. I know Chumley Williams and I spoke about an hour about what he thought the crime issues were. Another thing I want to say, and I don't know what we can do about this, but the hotels along Garvey, to me, is your culprit. I mean, I know if I was in the streets, I need somewhere to stay. I get it. But if you add how much rent they pay per day, if there was a way that we could put them, they could be in another kind of situation, but that breeds crime too. Because I do know that firsthand. I've unfortunately been in that space, and it's just not a good space to be in. So we as a community all got to work collectively together, and we're doing that. So thanks for bringing that to light. And on another note, I'm honored, I mean more than honored, to say that City Manager, we need to look at a memorandum of understanding, an MOU, for Councilmember McCoy and Camp Truett. I think Fulton County is ready to take that task on. I understand that they are inviting us to send a memorandum of understanding so they can present it to their commissioners on allowing the great city of College Park to lease that space for 50 years. And it could become what is known as a community garden, which is more than just studying plants, but it'll be recreation and tourism and environmental benefits, conservation. It's just so, that's 20 acres that we're just excited to develop. And I want to thank the power department. We had 3 days of wind. We had a lot of trees had fallen. And this is probably the only city, I mean, it probably is the only city where your power will get restored in a couple hours, and your trees removed, and even your power, they even help you with your, and that just don't happen. Cities just can't do that. They don't have that. So for College Park to provide that kind of hands-on and have staff that dedicated to go out there and do that kind of work, it's just an amazing to have that type of department. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion to enter into executive session for the discussion of litigation?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
I didn't hear that clear. What,
Executive session.
for what?
We don't have any
Litigation.
executive session tonight.
Litigation.
What is the business?
No, we don't have.
We got, do we
We
have
don't
something?
We have
No,
something
we
to
don't have
discuss.
anything.
Not
Do we
tonight.
not?
No, there's nothing to discuss.
Nope.
Didn't you send an email saying that we needed to discuss something in the executive session?
The lawsuit that you were referencing, Mayor, that was the subject of the email, is new, and there's not a whole lot to say about it. To my mind, there's no need to go into executive session
Okay.
if the issue is that piece of litigation.
Oh, okay. Somebody said, I thought I saw an email that said we were going to talk about an executive session. Never mind. All right, then. Seeing no further business, we are adjourned at 9:04 p.m.
Good job, good job, good job.